10 minutes earlier in the facility, we see Rachel and Carla. "You're okay! I'm so glad I found you," she said. "What are you doing here? What are you wearing?" Carla asked. "It's a long story," Rachel said, when suddenly they heard a loud boom sound and the lights go out. Everything was pitch black. "What just happened?" Carla screamed. It was very dark and no one could see anything. Everyone in the cages was panicking. "Hold on," Rachel said as she pulled out something from her belt. A hissing sound was activated. A bright light was shown as Rachel was holding a lit flare. Suddenly, a low-res light emerged from the walls. "The emergency lights are on," Carla stated as the alarm kept blasting. The flare helped give them plenty of light. "Was that an explosion?" Rachel asked. "It sounded like it. We better get out of here." "When do Benjamin and the others show up?" Carla asked. "Actually, from what I know, it's just me," Rachel said. "Oh my God, are you serious? What the hell?" she asked. "You risked your life for me? You could have died," she told her. "If it wasn't for me, you could have died," she warned her. Suddenly, the people in the cages shouted, "Hello? Care to lend a hand, ladies? Can somebody please free us too?" they shouted. Rachel looked around, seeing Peter and the group. "We need to free the others," she said. Carla went over to Peter, seeing him. "What happened? How?" she said, before stopping, seeing his bloody bandaged hand. "Oh my God, your hand!" she said. "Don't worry about me. Do you have a key?" he asked. "Yeah," Rachel said, handing Carla her suppressed handgun. Carla took it and started firing the locks opening the cages. As Rachel looked on, the two women were freeing the others. They got everyone: Obadiah, Jordan, Adrian, and Peter, and several others. Rachel handed them a few weapons: a baton, a knife, and 2 of her handguns. Rachel only had a single handgun left. "Alright, let's see if we can get out of here together," she stated. "It's gonna be a little difficult to sneak us past the dead and those soldiers, dear," Bud told her. "Well, we have to think of something. Let's cut through this way," she stated. Carla looked on, not saying anything. "Are you okay, Carla?" Rachel asked. "Let's just get the hell out of this place," she said, disturbed. They entered through a set of double doors. As they looked, seeing a group of infected locked up and growling at them. "What is this place?" Rachel asked. Elsewhere, Benjamin and his group were firing their guns at several distracted soldiers as the alarms kept blasting inside the facility. The nighttime and lower light made the hallways extremely dark. The dead were everywhere. The soldiers blocked off numerous doors and sealed them, as the group was also turning to the dead. Numerous CRM soldiers were getting grabbed by the walkers. Even though the infected couldn't bite through their uniforms, they were being suffocated as they got swarmed into a massive tidal wave of zombies. Benjamin fired his gun, killing another soldier as Patrick and his group cleared one of the hallways of the dead. "We're gonna get killed by our own distraction!" he shouted. Benjamin realized he was right. "Let's go into one of the rooms and put on camouflage, then we'll continue sweeping the place for the others," he ordered. Sean fired his gun as Benjamin pushed several walkers away into an open door as they all ran past him. "Come on, this way!" they shouted, heading into another hall. As they continued to run, Benjamin then saw a map of the warehouse on the wall and stopped. Sean and Tyler saw him and looked back at him. "Wait, Benjamin, hurry!" he shouted. Benjamin looked it over and grabbed it, tearing it off the wall. As he suddenly got flashes, his breathing became shallow, and he heard ringing in his ear. He started coughing harshly, and then realized he was having another withdrawal attack. Benjamin was on his knees to the ground, trying not to pass out. He tried crawling away from the zombies. Benjamin then saw the zombies were getting closer as he ran forward. Suddenly, another group appeared from the hallway and cut him off as Sean fired wildly. "Ben, no! We have to help him!" he screamed. "Guys, no! I'll go around! Get to safety!" Benjamin said as he ran backwards to the other hall. He saw a window, but no doors, and fired his gun, breaking the glass as he stepped on the edge of the building. He saw a ladder about 6 feet from his reach. Benjamin tried to reach for it, but a walker grabbed his leg. Benjamin kicked it off of him and then fired his handgun numerous times, killing numerous zombies until he ran out of ammo. Numerous walkers grabbed his leg, and Benjamin decided it was now or never. He jumped to the side of the warehouse, reaching out. He grabbed on the rim of the ladder when it broke off. Benjamin screamed, grabbing the next rim, hitting his chest as he cursed. "Ah, shit!" he screamed. Benjamin looked, seeing the walkers fall out of the window. Meanwhile, Rachel, Carla, and the others all tried to make a run for it. As they make their way through the halls, Carla fires her gun, killing a CRM soldier as Peter hits a zombie in the head with his gun. Rachel looks on. She pushes the zombies back and then sees in the far distance two boys in CRM armor running past the hall. They look like Tyler and Chong, but there's no way it could have been them. But if it was, she had to know. "Carla, get to the garage hangar. Get everyone out," she stated, going off. "Rachel, get back here!" she screamed. "Just do what I say! Go!" she shouted, running off. Carla and the others listened and ran from the horde that separated them from Rachel. As Rachel goes to the hallways, suddenly she was face to face with a CRM woman. She was taller and older than her. "Wait, you!" Lieutenant Mitchell screamed as she pulled her gun out. Rachel jumped forward, grabbing her gun, but she slammed Rachel against the wall. Rachel repeatedly kicked her leg and stomped her foot before taking the gun. The officer ducked and headbutted Rachel and punched her in the chest as Rachel cried in pain. "This is all your fault, you trash! I'm gonna kill you!" she said, proceeding to strangle Rachel. Rachel couldn't break free, but a walker got her from behind. She slammed Rachel to the ground, taking the walker and killing it. Rachel then realized she was too far from her guns and moved fast and ran forward, jumping and kicking her in the knees. The woman screamed and dropped down, collapsing, clenching her legs. She couldn't get up as Rachel looked and saw the zombies behind her. She grabbed their guns as the woman screamed as the horde surrounded her and began to devour her. Rachel looked on. "That's for Rebecca," she said, turning around and running off. As the helicopter was getting started up and the soldiers were trying to leave, Captain Wells got on the walkie. "Use the bird to redirect this column. We'll be able to hold them off for so long. Once it's away, we'll sweep the facility," he stated. "Look out!" a soldier said when suddenly a massive fireball exploded, pushing him back as the helicopter blown to fiery bits. The soldiers near were incinerated as the helicopter further exploded into nothingness. As the loud fireball continued, the smoke began to follow as debris and body parts lay everywhere. On the other side of the roof was Benjamin, putting down a rocket launcher, as he had no more shots left. He looked around, not seeing anything other than fiery debris and guts everywhere. Benjamin looked over, seeing several corpses, checking the destroyed helicopter. He looked, not seeing anyone, when suddenly an object flew from smoke, hitting Benjamin. He then saw someone charging at him as Captain Wells tackled him to the ground. Benjamin swung a punch at him, but he ducked and uppercutted him in the stomach. Benjamin gasped as the captain took his gun. Benjamin swiped backwards and elbowed him in the face, dropping the gun. Benjamin looked and tried to throw another punch, but he went back and dodged it and threw a punch at him. Benjamin caught it and tried to kick him, but the captain moved his leg and jumped forward, quickly kneeing Benjamin in the chest as Benjamin collapsed hard on the ground. He then dodged a punch from the captain as his assailant continued to fight him. Benjamin and him were locked in the fight. No talking, just each of them trying to kill the other as nothing around them mattered. Benjamin activated a baton and swung it, getting the captain to back off as he ran again for the gun. Without thinking, Benjamin swung it as the captain blocked with his hand. Benjamin jumped in the air, sideways, kicking him away as the captain was sent flying backwards. Benjamin landed on the ground and rolled, grabbing the gun as he aimed it, but lost sight of him. He was gone. Benjamin looked around, aiming his gun, when he was grabbed in a chokehold from behind. Benjamin fired his gun backwards, but the captain dodged, as Benjamin couldn't fire a clean shot behind himself. He aimed the gun around his hip before firing. Blood oozed from both of the men's sides as Benjamin cringed before getting his arm free, elbowing him away as he fired backwards again. The captain ducked and punched him in the face as Benjamin grabbed his neck. The captain then spinned him around, flipping him against the AC unit as Benjamin rolled to the side. The captain and Benjamin lay there as Wells takes the gun and saw several walkers. There were numerous soldiers who just turned. They had burns and shrapnel all over them. Benjamin landed on him, tackling him to the ground as the walkers began to surround both men. The captain aimed his gun, but one bit him as he missed firing, hitting the walker next to Benjamin's head. Benjamin ducked before sliding his legs, tripping the captain. Benjamin got up and held onto his bleeding side, seeing the dead swarming him. He moved over, grabbing the gun, but he used it to kill the reanimated coming after him. The gun clicked empty as Benjamin noticed he was out of ammo. Benjamin was getting flashes and was close to passing out. Suddenly, the radio next to him went off. "Anyone see Benjamin? No more dead! Hostiles!" Benjamin heard as gunfire erupted over the walkie. Benjamin couldn't see Wells anymore and decided to leave the roof, heading down the stairs, injured and all alone. As Benjamin was going through the hallways, blood kept oozing from his side as he looked, seeing zombies closely behind him. He stabbed one of the zombies in the head, instantly killing it, before another one grabbed his arm. He pushed it off of him, using his knife, deciding it wasn't worth it, as he pushed several walkers from himself. Benjamin raced from them, running into one of the rooms. He hid at the side behind the door. "I need a weapon," he stated. Suddenly, a soldier appeared inside the room, aiming his gun. It wasn't long before Benjamin jumped from behind, quickly putting him in a chokehold. The soldier struggled as Benjamin used all his remaining strength and violently tossed and turned as a loud popping sound came from the soldier before proceeding to drop to his knees, becoming lifeless. Benjamin, exhausted, drops him dead as he took the gun off of him. "Thank you," Benjamin told his victim. He then heard gunfire close behind him and quickly hid into one of the other rooms. Far away, Victor was still driving in his Jeep as he pushed through a massive clump of the dead, violently shaking his car as he plows through them, all crushing him. Victor continued driving, thinking about everything that's happened. Meg, Mom, Jason, his father. He started crying, wiping the tears from his eyes at the loss of his entire family. And now, he could never go back to them. He thought back to all the memories he had with them, and then thought of Benjamin. He thought of Rachel too. "Be safe. I will find you," he stated as he continued to drive. As Manny was running through the hallways with the boys, he used his remaining ammo, killing a CRM soldier. "Okay, let's try this door," he said, flinking it open. As Manny opened the door, he saw a massive horde of the dead inside as they turned to him and started coming towards him. Manny quickly slammed the door shut. "Wrong door," he said nervously. In the hallways was a lot of dead CRM soldiers. A door was suddenly kicked open as Benjamin stepped forward into an office, aiming his rifle. He looked around, not seeing anyone at the seemingly clean and modern office. He kept his gun trained to the desk as he made it to the other side before seeing there was no one, not even under the desk. He freed one of his hands, looking at the table, seeing a card with the initials PPP on it, as well as a clipboard with the letters A and the numbers 1 through 7. It was a long list, and most of them were checked off. Benjamin then saw many shredded papers on the side of the trash and pulled out a tiny line, barely able to read the extremely tiny piece of information. He signed, and then pulled out a drawer, but it wouldn't open, so he pulled harder, breaking it as it slid open. Benjamin then pulled out a phone charger and held them. He then pulled out a phone charger and held them before dropping them on the table. As he looked and became surprised, Benjamin then put his fingers inside and pulled out a phone. It was his phone. He recognized it as the one he gave to Rachel last week. He turned it on, seeing that his pictures and recordings were still on it. Benjamin pocketed the phone before hearing footsteps outside as he got serious and aimed his rifle. Benjamin then saw a figure in armor stepping inside the room, gun raised as well. Benjamin lowered it as he saw who it was. On the other side, the woman was shocked. "Rachel?" he asked. Benjamin stood there, slowly walking up to her. He gently places his hand on her face before hugging her. Rachel cried. "It's really you," she said, hugging him. "You're alive. I knew you were. I knew you really were," she cried. Benjamin cried too. Oh God, I missed you so much," he told her. "Oh, your face. You're hurt," she said, worried. I'll be fine. How did you get here? Why are you here?" he asked. "It's a really long story," she said. "Rachel, I'm so sorry about Rebecca." "I know," she said. "What matters now is getting everyone out of here." "Oh, how could I forget? I even found Carla. She was stuck in the warehouse with some of the others," she stated. Benjamin was surprised. "Is Carla? Are they all okay? Where are they?" he asked. "Come on, I'll show you," she told him. Meanwhile, Carla and the others got into the garage and saw all the vehicles. Peter looked them over with Obadiah. "Does anyone know how to hotwire this?" Carla asked. "Weren't you a soldier?" he asked. "Yes, and that's not something they teach you in the army," she said back. "What are we going to do?" Jordan asked. "Move aside. I got this," Obadiah said confidently. "I can figure it out," he stated, pulling the cover off with a knife. Meanwhile, Patrick, Chris, and the others were in the hallways, fighting to stay alive. "Move! Move!" he shouted as they all hid into one of the other rooms. "So what do we do?" he asked. They looked outside one of the windows, seeing several vehicles drive past the outer barrier of the horde. They were plowing through them. "Are they getting away?" he asked. Suddenly, they heard the walkie go off. "Everyone, it's time to bug out. We found the others. They're escaping from the facility, and it's time we all did as well. Resort to Plan B." Chris on the radio. "Ben, where are you?" he asked. "Just camouflage yourselves and meet us at the fallback position. I'll explain everything there," he stated. Patrick was unsure. "I'm not leaving until I know Adrian is safe," he stated. "Patrick, for God's sake, your son is safe. Now just listen to me and get out of there. There's not much time left," Benjamin screamed. Manny and the boys heard it on their walkie. "If he's broadcasting like this, it must be serious." Suddenly, Benjamin and Rachel meet up with Manny and the boys in the hallway. As Rachel looked, seeing Tyler, she hugged him. "You're okay! Don't you ever do anything stupid like that ever again, you hear me?" he shouted at her. Benjamin held Sean by the shoulder. "You okay?" he asked. Sean nodded. "Did you see Carla?" he asked. "No, but she made it out," Benjamin stated. Rachel continued. "We're all gonna meet up outside." "Then let's get a move on, big guy. Come on, people," Manny said. "Agreed. Let's move out," Benjamin said as they headed for a way out. Meanwhile, Captain Wells was running in the hallway. He was badly injured, bracing himself against the walls, dripping blood, as he tried to stand up. Private Campbell ran towards him as numerous zombies chased her. She fired her gun, killing them, saving her superior's life. "Not this way! Sir, go back! Go back!" She helped to shoulder him as they moved to another hallway to avoid the dead chasing them. Meanwhile, Benjamin and the others quickly ran into the room before slamming the doors behind them. They were coughing from all the smoke as Benjamin and the others looked on, seeing everyone. He saw Patrick, Chris, Sean, Tyler, and several others waiting for him. "Where are the others?" Patrick asked. "I told them to meet up with us on the west side a mile away. They should be waiting for us, she told them. How do we get out of here? Sean asked. I told you guys, we need camouflage. He stated, grabbed a walker, pulling it inside. He then took out his knife. We don't have a lot of time. Take a walker, gut them, and cover yourselves. Remember, not to get any on your face or open wounds, he informed them, as Benjamin smeared the guts on his friends. Here we go again, Rachel stated. Never ends, he stated. This time, we'll make it through, he told her. I won't let what happened before happen again, he told Rachel. I'll die before I let something like that happen to you, he said. Just don't leave me again. I'm not going anywhere, she said. Benjamin held on her hand, as Rachel took Tyler's hand. He then took Sean's hand. Remember to stay quiet and go slow. It's not a rush, but we can't linger either, as the horde could split us up, he stated. Benjamin then pressed a button, opening the garage door as it flung open. The horde ran inside and started flooding the room like an ocean, as Benjamin and Rachel and the others looked on in no fear. He looked backwards to them before nodding and ushering them forward. He went forward, leading the group through the horde as they exited the facility. The dead were all around them as Tyler and the others looked on. Patrick turned to his own people who were scared. He pushed them forward, not wanting to leave anyone behind, as they one by one moved through the swarm of the dead. At dawn, everyone looked on as the walkers go in the opposite direction. Benjamin and the others look on, seeing the facility burning and swarming of the dead. Benjamin and Rachel stood there. We made it, as Rachel was hugged by her brother. Seriously, don't ever do something that stupid ever again, Tyler told her. I'm sorry, but I had to, she told him. No, I'm serious, please. Never do that again. I thought I was going to lose you forever. Don't ever be an idiot like that ever again, he cried, as Rachel agreed, apologizing. Benjamin looked, seeing Sean. Are you okay? No bites? He asked. Yeah, I'm good, Sean told him. More or less. Where's Carla? He asked. She should be this way with the others, Rachel directed. As Benjamin and the others walked through the forest, they saw Carla and the others as Benjamin took off running. Carla looked like she was in tears as she looked at the others. Benjamin hugged Carla, lifting her off her feet. You're alive! I thought you might have been back at Nest, Benjamin stated. Carla didn't speak, just smiled and cried happy to see Benjamin. She then nodded and saw Sean as he came running up to her. She hugged him as Sean was also crying. I thought we lost you, Sean said. I met up with some people after the battle, she told him. We know, Benjamin said as someone ran past him. Carla, you had me so worried, Manny said, hugging her as well. In the background, Chris can be seen hugging his son. Ben, this is Manny. We met after on the road, she told him. Oh, trust me, I know, he stated. Thank God you all weren't killed, he told him. We almost were, Adrian told him. Those people were feeding people to walkers, he stated. Benjamin and the others were perplexed and disturbed by this, as Carla clarified. No, not exactly. They were just infecting them, letting the walkers bite them, and then just took them away, she stated. You didn't get bit, did you? He asked. No, of course not. If it wasn't for you guys, I would have ended up like another one of those people, she said, thanking them. You know, I hate to ruin this lovely family reunion, but there's like hundreds of dead still lurking in the facility. The sun's up, and the CRM could be bringing in reinforcements as we speak. So could we maybe, I don't know, take the rest of this lovely conversation on the road, please? Manny asked. That's a good idea, Patrick said, helping his son. Everyone, let's move out, he ordered. Two days later, we see Benjamin and several others carrying supplies after killing numerous zombies in the streets. Benjamin smiled as Patrick looked on. Why are you so happy? He asked. Because look at how many of the dead we've just killed, he stated. Yeah, it's a lot. We could have died, he told him. Exactly. All the roads leading to the CRM were all clear of the dead. I haven't heard one of their helicopters in days, he stated. That means we're in the clear from them, Manny stated. Good catch, Bud complimented. We're over 150 miles out, they say. We have 2 weeks of food left for everybody, but the women and children are getting tired. We should really head back to camp, he stated. Benjamin nodded. That sounds good, he said, as they took off. In the camp, Rachel was helping Georgie and the twins pack up. I wish you could stay with us, Rachel stated. I wish I could too, my dear, but there is a vast ocean of lost souls out there that could sure use a helping hand. And truth be told, I have nothing left to teach you, she revealed. Rachel smiled. Me and Tyler wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for you and the twins, she stated, hugging her. I'm going to miss you. Where are you going? She asked. The girls and I were thinking of heading east. A lot of people went to the coast, so there's bound to be more people to find, she stated. Well, good luck, Georgie. I'm praying you all have a safe trip. Oh, and one more thing. Tyler handed her something. I hope you didn't mind. I worked on this for a little bit. You told me you kept struggling with the titles, so I gave you one, she said, handing Georgie her special book back. It said A Key to a Future, in beautiful cursive. It's wonderful. Thank you, Rachel. I can't wait to give it to the first person who accepts it, she said gratefully. I'm glad I got to meet you, Georgie. For a while, I've always focused on the now, but haven't really put much thought into a future. I lost my family from before, but gained a new one. I have done things I never thought I would have. I've done scary things, but I've learned from them. That's what life is about. I can't thank you for everything you've done for me. Benjamin stepped forward. Nor can I, Benjamin stated. I'm sorry we couldn't get to have known each other more, but you saved Rachel and her brother after we got separated, so I owe you. I hope all these supplies can help you partially repay you three, he said, putting a box in the van. Tyler, Bud, Manny, and some of the others followed suit, giving them numerous cans of food. This is far too much of your food, Georgie tried to politely refuse. It's our gift to you, Rachel told her. Then please, take my book. Wherever you and your friends end up, you can start a new life with sustainability and guidance from the past inventions of humanity, she said. I appreciate that, Georgie, but you should give that to someone who needs it more than we do. We don't have a home yet. We don't have a place to build a community. And besides, Rachel smiled. I sort of took a few photos. I hope you don't mind, she stated. Of course not. Use them well. Thank you truly, Rachel Thompson. You're the most amazing young woman I've ever met, she said proudly. I don't know about that, Rachel said nervously. I do, Benjamin said, wrapping his shoulder around her, embarrassing her. I wish you both the absolute best on your journey. Safe travels. Be safe, Georgie. I hope you find the perfect person who will love your book. Georgie shakes her hands, and Benjamin offers his hand. We gave you all our food that doesn't have any of their symbols on them. That way, they'll never find out you were a part in helping us, he stated. And try to stay safe. Those people are still out there, he warned. Thanks again, Rachel hugged her. Take care. Goodbye. I hope we see you all again. As do I. Goodbye. Georgie hugs back. Rachel waves to the twins as they got inside. Rachel watched as they all packed up in the van and closed the doors and began to drive off. Rachel waves as Benjamin held her. I wonder who they'll meet next, Rachel asks. Hopefully someone as nice as you, but that's impossible, he says, kissing her. Carl looks on, indifference, at them. Yeah, that's a story for another day, she says. 1 week later. Carla woke up, gasping in the middle of the night as she looked around, seeing the campsite. Everyone else was asleep. Carla rubbed her face in annoyance and slowly got up. She walked over, seeing Benjamin. Benjamin noticed her and called out to her. "Couldn't sleep?" he asked. "Not a wink," she said, exhausted. "I know how you feel. Want to talk about it?" he asked. "Not really." "Where are we going tomorrow?" she asked. "You mean today?" "It's 1:37 a.m., he told her. "Fine, today?" she asked. "I'm not sure," he revealed. Carla was surprised. "Really? Wow, that's really surprising," she stated. "What do you mean?" he asked. "You not having a plan? You always have a plan. You always have a plan A, B, to freaking Z," she said. "You're not wrong. Normally I try to figure out for everybody without talking to them. But as a leader, I need to listen to them and trust the others more," he told her. "Wow, you've really changed," she said. "You sound surprised," Benjamin told her. "Wish things could go back to how they were." "How come you don't want to go back home?" she asked. "We can rebuild the gates, rebuild the houses," she told him. "I thought about it, but I've done a lot of thinking. We can go back to Nest, but it wouldn't bring back everyone we've lost. The truth is that I would be reminded of everyone who didn't make it," he told her. "So you want to start fresh?" she asked. "I do. I want all of us to have a fresh start, somewhere else. The location is not the most important thing. The most important thing is how we all live our lives that make it our home," he told her. "If you say so. I wish we can go back. Starting new sounds impossible. I mean, it's been 2 years. Not many places are still standing," she told him. "I know, but after everything we've been through, starting our own place doesn't seem so hard," he stated. "I wish I shared your optimism. But those people are still out there," she stated. "I know that they are, but it's been very quiet since the battle. We haven't seen a trace of the CRM, so for now I think we're safe. I'm sure one day we'll see them again, though. We only took out a small outpost, honestly. Wherever they're from, it's probably in another league from Nest. We've never had this many people before. We have our people, the Takers, Patrick, his people. It only makes sense to find a bigger home to hold all of us," he told her. In the town, Rachel walked with Tyler, Alexa. As they look around the town, Rachel looks over a pharmacy and finds some supplies. "Did you find anything, sis?" he asked. "Not much. A few antibiotics and bandages." Outside, they see Alexa staring at an art graffiti on the wall. Rachel was blown away by it. "Wow," she said. It was a walker's arm, rising with flowers all over it. "It's simply amazing that someone actually took the time to draw this," she stated. "Weren't you an artist?" Rachel asked Alexa. "I was," she told her. "I had a small shop under my apartment. But I was falling under when the world fell," she revealed. "Why?" Rachel asked. "I took too long when I drawed. I was a bit of a perfectionist and rarely ever finished my art pieces," she told her. Customers didn't like that. William then arrives. "Guys, we have to go. There's a horde coming," he warned them. As Rachel and them looked and saw many walkers in the other direction, they took off. In the campsite, we see Benjamin checking in on everyone as Dr. Roberts looks over Grace. "How is she doing?" he asks. "Given everything, her first trimester is going smoothly. I gave her an IV. She's tired of the constant moving. This road is no place for a baby," she told him, as Benjamin went over to her. "Hi, Grace," he said, waving to her and the kids. Grace smiled, getting him, as the other kids also did, albeit not as well. "Are you feeling okay?" he asked. "Yeah, we're alright. My cramps have been getting worse. I'm sorry we had to stop so much," she told him. "It's fine, Grace. Honestly, we need stops to find more supplies. The supplies we got from the CRM are starting to dwindle lately." As they talk, Peter asks Benjamin if he can talk to him, and Benjamin apologizes to Grace and goes. "This isn't easy for me to say, but I heard what you did for Sarah and Dina. I also never got to thank you for saving our lives. I I know it's been a week since this happened, but I've been trying to work up the courage to say this. Thank you, Benjamin, he said. For what? Benjamin asked. For saving Dina and Sarah, for getting us out of that warehouse and far away from those people. Saving us back in the university when we first met them. I know we haven't always seen eye to eye on things. I mean, our groups were at war with each other. I was under Xavier and you killed a lot of my friends. And to be honest with you, I hated you for that. I wanted nothing to do with you after finding out that you were leading the Ragers against us in that time. But then, when I thought about it some more, I realized you were only doing it, what you thought, to keep your people the safest. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. No one's hands are clean in this world. All of us came from different places and have done horrible things to survive and protect the ones we love. But Xavier never would have done all the things you've done for us since we unofficially joined your group. So I thank you for that, he told him. Benjamin smiled. You and the others are one of us. I'm just glad we can move forward, he stated. The next day, Merle suddenly barks loudly as Sean. He wags his tail. What is it, boy? Something wrong? Is it a horde coming? He asked. Merle continued to bark as he ran off. Boy, hold on! He screamed as Rachel followed him. In the forest, a group of horses were being attacked by a large swarm of walkers. They ran as best they could as the young man had to leave. There's nothing we can do! Josh, come on! He said, grabbing his brother. We can't just leave them! He cried. There's nothing we can do! He screamed again. As they took off, Merle came barking at the small horde as the horses ran, being boxed in. Sean and Rachel arrived and saw the horses about to get killed when Rachel fired her gun, drawing the dead to them. Rachel then put on her suppressor. Sean, don't fire! We might hit the horses, she said. Sean listened and began to kick one zombie down and stab it in the head, as Rachel cutting one of the walkers' heads off. The walkers tried to bite and claw her, but they couldn't get past her uniform. After a minute, they killed all the zombies. Rachel then put down her weapon and approached the horse, whispering, Shh, it's okay, shh, I got you, she said, grabbing the horse's reins. I got you, she said, leading the other one. Sean looked as Tyler joined them. He helped and got scared. Tyler, grab its reins, she asked. Tyler listened, grabbing it as he took it and went off. Rachel was stroking the horse, calming them down. Shh. It's okay, you two. You're both going to be okay, she told him. Another day later, Benjamin and Carla were talking. So, how are you and Rachel doing? She asked. I'm surprised you wanted to scout with me, honestly, she stated. Sometimes I feel like we don't hang out anymore, she told him. Benjamin could see where this was going. Carla, you know that you'll always be my best friend. My sister, he told her. I know that in here. I don't know. I guess I just miss you, she told him. I'm sorry, he said. You don't have to be sorry. You're a busy guy. Things have been kind of crazy lately. I just miss when it was just us, you know? Now that we got Patrick's people and the remaining takers, feels like we never have a moment to talk anymore. I guess I didn't expect this is how you'd be leading them, she told him. You think I'm the leader? He asked. Of course. You're the one who makes the calls. Patrick, Peter, and the others listen to you, she said. Are you upset about that? He asked. No, of course not. You should be the leader. There's no one better suited for the job as our leader than you, she told him. Thanks, Carla, he smiled. So, speaking of relationships, you and Manny? He implied. Oh my god, stop, she said. He's perfect for you. Comedic and unserious. Match made in heaven, he joked. I'm going to sew your mouth shut and sick a walker on you, she said. Ow, wow, so scary, he said sarcastically. Carla then looked on. Hey, do you see that? She asked. Benjamin looked at it. A lot of vines were covering a giant sign, and they tore them off. City of Huntington. Sometime later, Benjamin and the others drive off to a building and are walking up a skyscraper. Benjamin and Carla and Rachel look on the roof as Benjamin looks on, taking his binoculars. What are we doing up here? She asked. Benjamin smiled as they looked onto the city. That's a lot of rot bags. Benjamin looked, seeing that a part of the city was zoned off with tall steel walls around it and had walkers all over it. I know what that look is, Rachel says. That's your "you're got a plan" look, she told him. Tell me you're not thinking what I think you're thinking, Carla said. Oh, I am, Benjamin said. I think we just found our new home, he stated.